Let's talk about my old friend Tulsi Gabbard, the person who should absolutely not get confirmed as our next Director of National Intelligence. This is me in 2016 before the age of beard. As you can see from this tweet, I have worked with Tulsi Gabbard. She knows who I am, I know her. And I'm going to tell you the inside scoop of why she should not be in charge of anything, let alone our national intelligence. I'm going to leave aside the fact that she is a member of a cult and that she sides with autocrats, dictators, and tyrants like Vladimir Putin and Bashar al-Assad. All of that's been publicly reported, so let's leave that aside. But first, some background and context. My name is Christopher Goldsmith. I am a professional veterans advocate. This is something that I've been doing for over a decade and a half. My job sometimes is to pass legislation to help veterans. The only way that you can do that is on a bipartisan basis. I work well with Republicans and Democrats. Here's MAGA Lee Zeldin, a fellow Long Islander that I've watched go completely off the rails down to the right. And here is the vice presidential nominee for the Democrats this year, Tim Walz. Very good guy. Like this guy a lot. And there's me, before the age of beard. The reason that I am at this press conference is because these all post 9/11 generation veterans, Ruben Gallego, Tulsi Gabbard, Tim Walz, and Lee Zeldin, are here proposing bipartisan legislation called the Fairness for Veterans Act. And I learned a lot about Tulsi as we were working on this bill. Unlike the rest of these people, Tulsi's office was pure chaos. So again, leaving aside she's a national security threat because she sides with our enemies instead of our allies and even the United States itself, she is a terrible boss. There are 435 members of Congress, and there are 100 senators. Out of 535 offices on and around Capitol Hill, this person, Tulsi Gabbard, had the highest rate of turnover among staff, including the staffer who took this photo of us. Now, after Tulsi Gabbard helped me out professionally and personally, why would I be talking smack about her? Well, because a lot of the people who worked for her were also veterans, and she treated them like garbage. There are two reasons why she had such a high rate of turnover. The first is because she had no moral or ethical basis on which her staff could assume that she would make decisions. Like Donald Trump, the fascist that she's become such a sycophant for, she had no true policy beliefs. So the first of these two reasons that her staff found her to be a terrible leader is because she would tell them that she was going to vote one way on a bill, and she would tell them to issue a statement. So her policy staff and her comm staff would sit down, they would tweet stuff out like this, they would write press releases, and they would send them out into the world. And then they would look up at the television at C-SPAN in their office, and they would see their boss doing the opposite thing of what she just said that she was going to do. And that her beliefs were, in fact, the opposite of what she just told them 5 minutes prior. So the second reason that her staff found her to be a terrible boss is because Tulsi Gabbard was constantly humiliating them. Tulsi Gabbard, as a member of Congress, was completely unpredictable. Her staff would work for her, would sit down, she would tell them what she believed in, and then minutes later, she would tell the public the opposite thing, causing absolute chaos for her staff and her constituents. Tulsi Gabbard is a toxic leader. Now again, I owe Tulsi Gabbard a lot. She has helped me out personally and professionally. But I feel that it is my patriotic duty to let people know who Tulsi Gabbard is. I have no doubt that over the coming months, you're going to hear a lot of stories about how she's a security threat for the reasons that I've just described. But people ought to know how she can demoralize a staff and cause people to quit out of frustration. When she is leading all of our intelligence agencies, that would be completely disastrous. Like when people serve in the military, as we both did, when people serve in intelligence agencies, they're often making a lot of sacrifices, and they're often putting their own lives at risk. There are assets all around the world in every country who are loyal to the United States and would give their lives if they had to. So having someone who sides with our enemies instead of us and our allies leading these intelligence agencies is disastrous in and of itself. But pile onto that the absolute toxic leadership that she exudes in even a small congressional office. It would make it impossible for these people to do their jobs. And that is why, despite having worked with Tulsi Gabbard and her having helped me personally and professionally, I want to make sure that she never comes close to getting confirmed to be our Director of National Intelligence. So look, you don't have to be this close to these people to make a difference. You, as an American, you have an opportunity to engage in your democracy as it was designed to be used. Go to senate.gov, enter in your state. You will find your 2 senators and their contact information. You should call both of their offices and quickly and politely and briefly explain that you, as their constituent, want to register your opinion and let them know that they should not in any way support her confirmation to be the Director of National Intelligence. You don't have to explain why. Just say that's your opinion. You just want to make sure that they understand that that is your opinion as a constituent, and you can hang up. These things matter. Members of Congress, members of the Senate need to hear from you as an American constituent. It doesn't matter if your senator is of a different party and you don't agree. They need to hear your opinion because your opinion matters in a democracy.